Hi everybody, and top of the morning to ya. That's right, we're going to do some St. Patrick's Day craft today. So we're also going to work with the Cricut Maker. I'm going to show you how to make some lettering for our little shamrocks. And so I thought I'd show you how on the Cricut Maker. Now I know some of you have a Cricut Maker and some of you do not. There are ways to do this without having a Cricut Maker, but it also gives you an idea of what a Cricut Maker can do. And so I thought I would do that, and then you can always make it without. You can either write your words on here, like if we want Happy St. Patrick's Day on one, or Kiss Me I'm Irish, or Shake Your Shamrocks, whatever you want to put on yours. You can either freehand it with paint or like a big thick nice marker, or you can always go and look for stickers and put like a big sticker on it that says lucky, or which we already have something that says lucky, so I would pick something different than that. Well, let's just get started with our craft for now. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move some of this stuff to the side. It's very crowded today in here because I have my Cricut Maker and my computer and some of the supplies and the items we're going to be working on, so it's a little crowded in here today, but it's going to be a fun one. So we're going to start by painting this. We're going to make a porch sign, but it's a shorter porch sign. It's one that you may want to hang instead. This one was a hanging one. Actually, my in-laws gave this to me, which is very cute, but I'm going to use the other side. This way I can use this side if I want to, but I'm going to paint on this side and make a little St. Patrick's Day thing for this side. And so on here it shows the wire to hang it right here, but it also has these little clips that you can hang it. So I'm going to take this wire off, and then we're going to put some wire on these clips, and that way we can hang it on either side. Okay, so we're going to start with that. Now, for you guys who obviously don't have one of these from your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, you can just buy a, let's see what size this is. It is 1 foot by, and it doesn't have to be exact, but just close, 3 feet. So anywhere close to that, because we're buying things from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so I bought 2 of these from the Dollar Tree and 1 of these. So 2 of these and 1 of these from the Dollar Tree. And so we're just make sure that it's going to space out on there good. Like these are going to go on here pretty good. Actually, they fit to the end just right, so it's just the right size. I got lucky. All right, so now I'm going to take something. I think a pair of these scissors maybe. I had a knife over here. Okay, and I'm going to get this wire off of here if I can. It seems like it's really in there pretty good though, so I'm not so sure. What about these? Oh, here we go. It's starting to come up. The wire cutters are doing the trick. I'm not cutting it, I'm pulling it, but they're doing a good job of it. So we're pulling that out. I didn't mean to cut that one. Okay, one more. And then once this is done, I wanted to do my background white because my colors are kind of dark that I picked out, and so I want them to show up. If for some reason one of your staples, if you ever had to do this, it gets stuck in there and you get most of the stuff off, it's really not going to matter because we're putting stuff over it and you're not even going to see that anyway. But there we go. All right, So I'm going to throw that to the side. So we're going to first start with painting this white, because that way it can be drying while we're doing all the other stuff. So I'm going to grab my white paint and the sponges that I always tell you guys about from the Dollar Tree. There's 6 in a pack for $1. And I will use this. So remember, it was 1 foot by 3 feet. Or if you just go to the Dollar Tree first and buy the things you're going to use on it and take them with you to pick out a piece of wood, all you have to do, you can even go into, I've done it before, where you go into Lowe's and tell them that you want a piece of craft wood and approximately the size, and then if you have these with you, you can make sure before you buy it that it's exactly what you want. So it's pretty simple. I know sometimes if you haven't done this before, it seems kind of like you're a little scared to do it, but people are so helpful in the hardware stores, they'll help you. So I'm just going to use this and paint my shutter. It's just a big shutter. It's nice. I'm going to go around these little latches. If they get a little white, it really doesn't matter. In fact, I think I will just paint them white. Who cares? I may have to do 2 coats. You may not care. Sometimes people like it where it's very washed looking. I usually like mine not washed. I like it bright and pretty. But I do have some things like that that turned out really cute. I'm just not used to painting that way. So I'm just going to go back and forth, and then I'll be back to talk to you guys again. All right, so now we're going to just let this sit to the side and dry, and move on to the next step. Okay. I'm sure we're going to probably need a second coat, so I'm just going to push that to the side, let that dry. I used Americana white on it, and you can get that at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I'm going to move that over. Okay, so now, okay, so now I think we're going to go ahead and take our shamrocks and take the little tags off of them. Now these shamrocks were from Dollar Tree, and so is this little lucky bucket of gold. That also was from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take all these little tags off of them. Throw that to the side. And we'll just toss them to the side. Okay. So now I thought we would take some scrapbook paper. We have to decide, do we want the big checks on there or the little checks? I think we'll go with the little checks. Okay, so anyway, so what we're gonna do then is take and set it on here and trace around it. Okay, pencil in here. Here we go. So it's a little bit, got a little bit like warped or something, my little shamrock. I'm gonna just push down on it, and then I'm gonna trace it onto my paper so I can cut it out. So the scrapbook paper, I ordered it online. It's from Cartabella, it's called. C-A-R-T-A-B-E-L-L-A. And I just typed it in the search bar on Google. I typed in buffalo plaid green and black scrapbook paper, and this is one of them that popped up, and I just chose it and ordered it. And it came within 2 days. It comes pretty quick. But you can always go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's. Any of them usually have the scrapbook paper, and you can just pick one out. Ooh, I got paint on there. How did I do that? I'm gonna see if I can wipe this off really quick. If not, we'll just use the other side. There must be paint on the table from where I painted and I wasn't paying attention. So make sure that you don't set your product in where you're painting, because that will happen to you. Alright, so, darn it. I hope I didn't ruin it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one out. Okay, so because I had to make that mess on there, I'm gonna probably have to turn this over, and it should fit right on this side. Okay. So there we go. So there's one, and then I'm gonna cut out the second one. So we're gonna do the same thing with this one. We're going to trace it and cut it out. Okay, so now we're going to take these scrapbook pieces and we're going to Mod Podge them on to our little wooden shamrocks. So I'm going to get my Mod Podge out. Open that up. So I'm going to grab another one of these sponges. Okay, and I'm just going to take and put the Mod Podge all over my shamrock. And I'm going to try to do it kind of fast because I think it kind of dries kind of quickly. So we're going to try to go quickly. And it's kind of a big item, so we got to speed through. You can always go back and put a little more on if you need to. All right, and then I'm going to take my scrapbook paper and stick it on top. And I'm going to take my brandishing tool, the Cricut one. This is the one I got from my son and his fiance. And I am going to brandish it down. Go ahead and put a little more under here. Push down. I think I'm going to set this under my computer. Maybe it'll straighten it out a little bit more. Okay. And in the meantime, I'm going to do this one. The scrapbook paper that I bought is kind of a little bit heavier than some of them are. And so it might take an extra, like, see how I'm putting it on kind of thick to hold it on. Alright, go ahead and stick that one on there. And once again, we'll brandish it down. I'm going to set this one over here on the counter and put something on top of it. let that dry like that. Okay, so next I was going to go ahead and take the lucky sign. You know what, maybe we'll go ahead and do another white coat first. Okay, so I'm going to close this out for now. Set it to the side. And we're going to come back to the white. A little more out. And we're going to go over the whole thing again with white. And then I'll be back again. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to push that to the side and let that one dry. And then we are going to move on to our little bucket that says Lucky. Now that one, I'm going to try to take the Lucky off the top because it'll be easier and a little quicker, I think, to paint it if it comes off easy. If not, we'll leave it on. And I think we're going to be leaving it on. I guess we're going to leave it on. Okay, so now we're going to take the green paint. I picked out Vineyard Green, and it's by Apple Barrel Colors. And I did buy this a long time ago. It's kind of a different kind of green. It matches with the scrapbook paper. I want to say I got it from Joann Fabrics, but it was a long time ago. Okay, so I'm going to take that and put it in, there it is. Okay, I'm going to put it in one of these, and then I'm going to grab some of these. These I believe were from Hobby Lobby, but it was a long time ago also that I bought these brushes, and there's different sizes. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one that can come to a point. Since we can't get the Lucky off, we'll just try to paint in between it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. This way your stuff's drying while you're doing the other stuff. And I'm going to also grab the big brush too. So this one is 3/4 inch it says, and this one says just number 8. So I don't know. I'm going to use the big one for most of it. And then when we get around the lettering, I'll change to the littler one. It doesn't matter if you get it a little bit on here because we're going to cover it with something else. Okay, so now I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to go into the middle of them all. Okay, so it's kind of crazy, but I just realized that I forgot to wear my microphone. And so I'm going to grab it and put it on. All right, hopefully you'll be able to hear me even better now. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have that on. So, sorry. Okay, I'm going to do a second coat right away on this green because it looks dry enough. It seems like the wood must be pretty dry because it's really seeping in, but hopefully we only need one more coat. Usually the second coat doesn't take quite as long. I mean, because it's not seeping in as much, and you can just keep rolling along. It kind of rolls along smoother a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to the sharp one again and get in between everything. All right, so now I'm going to put that to the side and let it dry. And if it looks uneven along here to me, I'm going to just go ahead and take and make long strokes across it, just to be sure it's going to dry pretty for me. I'll do it one more time along here. more time along the bottom, I think. So it's almost like we did 3 coats really quick. All right, so now we're going to set it to the side and we're going to let that dry. Okay, so now this probably needs to dry. Yeah, that needs to dry a little more before I do another coat. I don't think we're going to have to do another coat of the green. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and pick up the ones that I stuck under the computer to see if it would flatten it out better. And we're going to see how that worked out. All right, I'm going to take and wash off a couple of these brushes really quick. I just don't want it to stick in them. All right, let's see how that turned out underneath here. Ooh, it kind of buckled a little bit. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to take the Mod Podge and I'm going to go ahead and go over the top of it. I wonder what made it do that. Okay. So I'm just going to go over the top of it and maybe try to smooth it down again a little bit. And if it looks like it's coming up at all, mine is a little bit. Just go ahead, put a little Mod Podge under there again and push it down again. It could be maybe my paper is too thick. Maybe go ahead and get a thinner one, you know, like a normal one. This one's pretty thick, like, I can't think, like cardstock almost. All right, so then as soon as you smooth it out a little, just set that to the side and let it dry again. That'll make it a little shinier. When you put the Mod Podge on top, it makes it a little shinier. So I'm going to set it over here and take the one that's over here. Okay. So this one, it looks like a little chunk came off. But what we're going to do then is we'll take some of our green paint and we'll just go along the edges. So there's always a way to fix stuff like that. I've never had it where it buckles like that. I really think it's because the paper was thick, but you would think that would stop it from doing that. But I don't know. That's the only explanation I can think of. I'm trying to kind of push it down. It's probably going to leave a little bit of a wrinkle in it. Huh. Kind of bubbled back up again. Very weird. But at least you're seeing some of the problems you can have with it. All right, so once you've smoothed it out pretty good, you just set it to the side and let it dry. Okay, so let's see. I think it'll be cute like it is. I think I'm going to leave it like that. It is going to look a little weathered for a change. So while all this stuff is drying, let me see. Can we do another? I think we can go ahead and do the lucky part. And we were going to do that in a gold. I'll just go ahead and use this. It says it's a 3/8 inch. Okay. So here we go. Now, because the lettering is all popped up, that's why we can do it even if it's not all the way dry, because it's not touching that part anyway. So we should be okay. Whoop, there it goes. Okay, so this is called Aleene's, and it's just Aleene's Gold. And I believe I got it from Hobby Lobby. I'm not positive, but you can find, it doesn't have to be Aleene's gold. You can get any gold you want, and it's an acrylic paint. So these are all acrylic paints, the white, the green, and now this gold is also acrylic. So you can pick out whatever kind of green you like for yours. You can pick out whatever gold you want, or you can do, sometimes people do the lime green color for this. That's cute too. Now with this gold, I'm probably going to have to do a couple coats again. That's why I kind of wanted to get the painting done so that it could be drying. Because I always know there's usually a couple coats. Okay, so up here where the money goes, we're going to go ahead and paint it gold, just one coat of gold. So it doesn't matter if you do it kind of messy, because we're going to put something over this. And the reason we're painting this part is in case any of it shows through. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be a real pretty job. And then you can set that to the side to let it dry. And so we are going to need a new hanger on here also. And so I was going to just take my green wire. I'm not sure. Does this say a gauge? This is a 22 gauge wire. It's not real thick, but I think it's thick enough to just hold it onto the, I have a screw outside where you can set it underneath our address. And so it'll be enough to hold it onto that little screw. And if not, you can get a heavier gauge wire, something thicker than that. Or you could use a rope or something like that too. Either one. So now that's what I'm going to do next, is just hang the wire onto it. And all I'm going to do is leave a little bit hanging over here and just twist it around. Just want it so that when the wind blows, you don't want it to be just twisted around once or twice, because it can knock it off. But if you have it really twisted on there quite a few times, you'll be fine. And so we're just going to leave it a little bit where it hangs a little bit. I'll show you after I get it cut. And we're going to twist it around on the other side also. And as soon as I twist it around, I'll lift it up and show you exactly what I did. You'll be surprised. It doesn't have to be beautiful, because people are looking at the pretty thing that you made instead. Okay, so it's just like about that long. And it'll show this side then, and it'll show off this side when we're done. And maybe one day I'll redo the other side, but I kind of still like that side. It's cute. Okay, so now that that's done, we could probably do another. Oh no, I got some gold on my green. So if you do that, you can always go back over and fix that, all those little things. So we're just going over the lettering again. So it's not a hard craft. It's just maybe a little bit time consuming, because you do have to go over your painting a couple times to get it dark enough. But it's always such a good feeling when you do a craft and you get done and it turns out really pretty. You just feel good about it. It makes you feel happy because you know you did it. Or if it's for a friend, you know you made it yourself and it turned out really cool. So I think you guys would enjoy doing this. And like I said, it's not really expensive, because even to buy the piece of wood, that's your main expense, is one piece of wood. And then these are just little dollar items. And even the paints, they're not really very expensive either. And once you have a couple colors, you just keep using them. Here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pour a little green and touch up the parts that kind of got a little messed up. That's what I get for thinking it wasn't going to mess up, because they're elevated, but I was wrong about that. Okay, so now we just have to let that part dry. So we are going to need our glue gun. And I bought these also at the Dollar Tree. It's a little pack of coins. And there was 30 coins in here for $1. So I thought we'd do that next. Okay, I'm also trying to get my computer up. Okay, so what we're going to do is take these and glue them on everywhere around here to make it look like there's a pile of them inside our bucket. And it'll look really cute. Okay, so honestly, I'm going to just start, you see how they're all kind of shaped right here? I'm just going to start by putting one on each of those shapes. I'm going to just go ahead along and make a second coat. So that's how I have it so far. They're going to be stacked on each other. So I'm making another layer. And now I'm just filling in the last couple little sections that are missing. So it just looks like a little pile of money in there. Really cute. Okay, so that's going to end up in the middle of our sign. So I'm just going to set it over there for now. I'm going to go grab those other ones that I have off to the side. See how they came out shinier? They are a little bit bubbly, but they still look pretty cute. So one's going to go there, one's going to go here. But we need to make our lettering now for the top, and that's what I was going to do in the Cricut. I was trying to think what we want to say on here. You can say Irish, or Kiss Me, I'm Irish, or I like the Happy St. Paddy's Day. I'm hoping it would fit on here pretty good. So I did already have this gold Cricut paper for my Cricut machine. And then this is, I'm trying to think what they call these. It's a matte, I'm not sure if that's just what they call it, it's just a Cricut mat. But they're sticky and they have different grips. This one is a standard grip, which should be fine for what we're going to do. They have heavy grip ones, and the heavy grip ones are for like if you have a light piece of wood, like if we were to cut out this Lucky ourselves, that little light piece of wood would need a heavy grip. And sometimes you even need to tape on top of that so that it won't move around. But hopefully this will work for this. So I'm going to stick this gold piece on here. Okay, so that's what these are for, to make sure that your material sticks to these mats. You are supposed to use this brandishing tool, or like I was using the Pampered Chef one. If you don't have this, you can use that, or a plastic spatula will work, whatever you have. Okay, so that's all ready. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. I know it kind of blocks you a little, but I have to make room for my Cricut thing. Turn the Cricut on and put that in. Okay. So, okay, so I'm going to bring you over into my computer with me, and I'm going to show you how to get onto your Cricut design space if you have a Cricut. And I'm going to show you how to make the letters for Happy St. Paddy's Day and for Kiss Me. And so we're going to go up here in the left hand corner where the green C icon is, and we're going to double click on that, and then my Cricut design space is going to pop up. And when you get a Cricut, you read the directions and they teach you how to do that, how to set it up. That's about all they teach you, though. You have to learn the rest on your own. So now we're going to come over here to where it says New Project, this little green button here, and we're going to click on that. Now it brings up the canvas, the blank canvas. So what we want to do is go over here to the left-hand icons, and where it says text, we're going to click text. And then it shows this little blue box, and we're going to add our text there. And so we're going to say, Happy St. Paddy's Day. Okay, so now if you wanted to change the font, you can come up here where it says font, and you can click over here on the arrow and change your font. But we want Cricut Sans because it looks kind of close to the bucket we have that says Lucky, and so we want to keep it that way. So we're good with that. So now what we want to do is we want to come over here where it says up in the right hand corner, see where it says Ungroup. We want to click Ungroup, and then we're going to take just the happy and highlight it and group it. And then we're going to pull that up to the corner here. And I already measured my shamrock, and our happy has to be 4 inches by 1 inch or smaller for it to fit right, for everything to fit right. So we're going to, let's see, it looks like it's already 1 inch by 3.5 about. And so we're actually good with the size it is. So we're going to leave it that size. And now we're going to come down here and we're going to try to take just the ST and we're going to move that up underneath there. Okay. Now we're going to have to come down here by this highlighted bar and move it over a little bit and get the Paddy's Day. And we'll move that, highlight the whole thing, move it over, and then I'm going to go back over there. Okay, so now we just want the Paddies, and we're going to move that up under this Saint. Okay, and then we're going to grab the day and move it up also. Whoops. Okay, we got to highlight it to move it all together. All right, that part's set up. So now we want to go back into our text because now we want to do the Kiss Me part. So we click on the text and then we type Kiss Me. We're going to do the whole thing in capitals and then space M-E. Okay, then we're going to take this part and move it down, and we're going to also ungroup that. So we're going to go up here into the right hand corner and hit ungroup. Okay, and then so for the Kiss Me, I measured it and it can be 2 inches tall. So we're going to go ahead and move the me out of the way. And then we're going to group the kiss, so we're highlighting them. Now what we're going to do is go up to this bar right here, this highlighted bar, and move down a little so we can play around with the kiss and me. Okay, so we're going to try to make it close to 2 inches. It doesn't have to be all the way 2, but very close. So what we're going to do is highlight this, and then we're going to come to these little arrows, see in the right hand lower corner, and the arrows will make it where you can pull it out and make it bigger. So we're going to make the kiss bigger and move it over. In fact, we'll move it up a little bit now that we know it's the right size. Okay, then we're going to grab the me. Whoops. We want to get it together, so we're going to highlight the whole thing together and pull it down under the kiss. And now this one also, it's 2 inches also. So we're going to go to these arrows, pull it up to where it's 2 inches, move it up a little bit more. Oh, that's too much. Okay, that should be good. And then we're just going to move it over here under the kiss. So the Cricut scrapbook paper that I use is 12 by 12. You can buy some of them, I believe, a little bit bigger. Usually it's 12 by 12. You can buy them smaller too, 6 by 6, or I'm sure there's other sizes too. But I use the 12 by 12. And so what that means is you see this little ruler on the side here. You want to keep it under the 12. This 12, you want to keep it under that. And then also it's 12 by 12, so you want to keep it, you know, within that too. Now it's better to line them all up in one row because you won't use as much of your scrapbook paper and you can hang on to it for another project. So we're all set up good here, but what we want to do now is come up here, see this box here that says select all, and it's got a little plus sign. We want to click on the plus sign. So we select it all. We want to come over here and hit group. We're grouping them. And then once we do that, we want to come down here and we want to hit the attach. If you don't hit the attach, what happens is when it's going to print off, it'll print it in a different order. It won't say Kiss Me. The K could be up there with the St. Patrick's Day, and we don't want to do that. We want it all to print off like we want it. So now from there, we're going to just come up here and hit Make It, which is up in the right hand corner here, the green button. We're going to click that. And now it sorts it out how you want it to cut. And so now it's going to say Happy St. Paddy's Day and Kiss Me. And so now we want to, and it's on 12 by 12 paper. And so now we want to come down here to the green button and hit Continue. Okay, so now it's asking you what kind of material you're using. We're using vinyl, but we're using heavier vinyl than the one they show. So we want to go here where it says Browse All Materials, and we want to click on that. Okay, so now it is going to be a vinyl, so we have to like go down and look for the vinyl products. Okay, so now we're to the vinyls. So now we want to look for our vinyl. Our vinyl is the metallic vinyl, so it's right here. We want to click on that. So once you see the little green arrow, then you can come down here and hit Done. Now it's going to ask you if you want just the regular pressure, like you could just continue if you wanted to, but we want to change it from the default pressure, and we want to do more pressure. So we're going to click on More, and I would always suggest to always do more pressure because sometimes it doesn't want to cut all the way through your materials, and the more pressure makes it so that it does. And also with this vinyl, you really do need it to have more pressure or it won't go all the way through. At least that's the experience I've had. Now you can come down here and they have a fast mode if you wanted, but I always just do the regular mode. I just want it to turn out right. So now from there, you would come over to the Cricut Maker and there's a flashing light. Okay, so that flashing button, all we have to do is push that and it's going to start cutting. It pulls in your materials and it starts cutting it. I know it says 100%, but it's still going, so we'll wait just a minute more until it stops cutting. Okay, so now it's all done. It's kicking it back out. So with the little double arrow, you just push the double arrow, it's flashing, and it just spits it out, and that's what we have now. I don't know if you can see that very good or not. Okay, so on our screen now, we want to just hit Finish. And we can hit Save just in case something goes wrong. We'll just hit Save, and we'll put St. Paddy's porch sign. Porch. And then just hit Save. And then we just escape out of this. Yes, we want to quit. And we just escape. Okay, so that part, I'm just going to close down. And I'm going to move this back to the side and turn my Cricut off because I don't need it. Okay, so now all you will do is you will take and peel this off. You want to cover this up again right away because it's a sticky mat and everything will stick to it. And because we have 2 dogs, it'll have dog hair all over it if we don't cover it up right away. Okay. Okay. So we'll set that to the side. Okay, so now we have to do what is called weeding. Okay, so I remembered everything, but I forgot the contact paper. So they also call it, it's for tape, but you can use contact paper and you can get it at the Dollar Tree for $1. So that's a good deal. Now the vinyl is a little more expensive. I honestly don't remember how much I paid for this. Usually I will only buy it if it's on sale. And I've not used my Cricut a whole heck of a lot, so, you know, I'm kind of new at it too myself. So we're going to be learning some Cricut together. So anyway, trying to think how much this probably was, but I don't know for sure. I really don't. I would just always watch for sales. Or if you go to Hobby Lobby to get it, they always have that coupon for 40% off. If you get on the app store, you know, go into your app store and look up Hobby Lobby coupon, or just download Hobby Lobby and then go into the coupons for Hobby Lobby, it'll always have that 40% off one item. And so you could buy one of these for 40% off, and that's a good deal. That's, you know, can't go wrong with that. Okay, so what you want to do, I think what we first will do is cut the lettering out a little closer, because you want to save whatever vinyl you can, because it does get expensive if you don't do that. And so we're kind of just cutting real close to our letters. So we're kind of cut close like that. I hope you guys can see that with this bright light. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move that over to the side somewhere. Okay, so with this part, we want to take and cut this the same size or real close. So, and it is just regular contact paper. You can buy it at any grocery store, probably any place like Target, Walmart. Okay, so throw that to the side. So now what you do is you peel the top off of your contact paper. And you want just the clear part. And you're going to set that clear part right over this lettering. And what this does is it keeps all your lettering in place when you're peeling the back off the lettering. Okay, so that's what we do next. We're going to peel the white part off of the back of the lettering. Now the contact paper I bought was from Dollar Tree, and it works pretty good. I'm trying to think. Maybe we don't have to peel all of that. Yeah, it's probably easier to do that. So we're peeling the back off first. Right? Gosh, I haven't done this in so long. That's what the problem is. I wonder if I should have weeded it first. Oh well. This is how we're doing it this time. I haven't worked with my Cricut in so long. It's crazy. And it was kind of new. I got it at the beginning of the pandemic. So I really haven't had it that long. Okay, so now I'm going to use some of these tools, and I haven't used those before either. So it's going to be new to me. So this one is your weeder, and it's a little sharp one. So we're going to pull the big part off of here and try to leave all the lettering behind is what we're going to try to do. And now with this kind of vinyl, I kind of don't like this kind, but I had it already and it matched the project we're doing, and so that's why I decided to use it again. But it's not my favorite because it's real hard to weed it. It wants to rip all the time. So I'm going to take my little sweet time, and I'm going to go ahead and try to do this. So I'm using this little spatula thing to hold down my lettering while I'm pulling up on this other part of the vinyl, the part that doesn't have the lettering. And I'm trying to separate the two. Now, like I said, this vinyl is really hard. It wants to rip all the time, so I'm really trying to be careful. So I also think for this project, I'm going to cut the words apart. You don't always have to do that, but I'm going to do that for this one. And I'm going to just stick all my garbage on here. Once I get it going a little bit, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing so you can understand me. I know some of the technical terms for some of this stuff, but I don't know all of them. And so when I post this video to some of you Cricut groups that know better than me what is going on, you can help me out a little and tell me if I could do something easier and make things easier. I want it to be easier for everyone. I want to help people. So, okay, so that came off kind of nicely. So this is what I have so far. So you can see that it's starting to look like a word. So now I'm going to use the little sharp one, and I'm going to get the inside of the A. And so this is what you end up with. Okay, so for now I'm going to just set that right here, because that's where it's going to end up going, but it's going to be upside down. Okay, and I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to do that to every word. Okay, so just so you know what I'm doing. I'm going to cut each word apart, and then I'm going to do that. Whew. Like I said, not my favorite vinyl. Most vinyls, when you're doing this weeding, it just kind of comes apart easily. This kind, for some reason, it just wants to rip. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one and keep on going. Wow, I'm telling you, if you can get the one that's not foil, do it. The foil, it really does make a difference. I'm sure some people like working with it. I think it's pretty because it's shiny, but woo, it is a bear to work with. All right. Got the kiss. Okay. Woohoo! Got it. All right, so then what we're going to do is take each one of these and position our lettering on them the way we want them. So I'm going to have to put the happy up kind of higher. I'm just going to set it there for now to make sure, and then I'll see how it kind of looks. And I'm just eyeing it. Some people get so technical about it that they take and measure everything out. I'm not like that. I want it to look cute, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and take this brandishing tool, and I'm going to brandish it on. So once you do that, then you're going to take a piece of an end of your contact paper and start pulling them off. And this part shouldn't be so bad, but if a part does start to come up, then just use one of your tools to push it right back down. Now mine, when I put my stuff outside, we have an awning. And so if you don't have an awning, then you want to put stuff on here that's going to protect it. So like afterwards, you could take a sealant, like Krylon sealant, and spray over the top of it, the whole thing all the way down, and it'll put like a little bit of a sealer on it. And also then you would want to use a vinyl, one of these kind of vinyls that is for permanent. It's called permanent, and it's the kind of stuff you can use it on cups and everything else too, and you can actually wash your cups. But I would suggest if you are going to make a cup, which we'll do that later, we will do that in one of these videos, but I would suggest that you get the permanent vinyl, but you don't use the dishwasher. You always wash it by hand because you put all that work into it and you just want to be extra safe about it. So now I'm going to just position these. Okay, so I think I'm going to put those on just like that. We're going to brandish it down again. We're going to pull the contact paper off. This part's the easy part. I think the hardest part of the whole project was probably weeding all the letters. That's like the hardest part. Okay, so that's how that looks. So now there was one other thing we were going to do, and that is, so if you wanted to see how it doesn't, like when I cut the paper, it didn't cover the whole wood. If that bothers you, you can take the paint, the same color that you used on here, and just go all around your whole edges. I think I'm going to do that really quick because we kind of need our glue gun to heat up real quick anyway. It's only going to take a minute. Okay, so let's do that. So it doesn't, you don't want a lot of paint on here. You're just kind of going to go and brush along. I think I've done something like this with you guys before, but it just matters if you've seen all my videos. We did it for the sleds, I think, because then you're just going around it. It kind of gives it an edge. It makes it look a little, I mean, since this isn't painted perfectly, it makes it look a little more rustic. So if you like the rustic look, you'll like this. I'll show you after I get through with this one. And it's just the edge. You're just kind of, I call it pouncing along the sides. It does make it look just a little more finished off, I think, because it looks like it's got like some kind of edge to it. So here's what one of them looks like. It's not much different. It just kind of finished the edge off a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do that on this one also. Now we're going to go ahead and take the glue gun. Stick another glue in there. I think I might need a couple more glues from downstairs. I'm going to set that there. I'm going to do this one first, I think. So let's make sure it's centered right. Let that one dry for a second. Okay, so we're going to do it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a bunch of glue on the back of this. You know, if you want to be extra secure, you can, before you start using your glue gun, you can go ahead and put wood glue on here too. And that way, you know, that the glue gun glue holds it in place until the wood glue is dry. And so that works out nice too. I probably should have did that. But when you guys make yours, so just take wood glue or even Gorilla Glue or something like that, and first put that on, and then use the glue gun in spots where you don't have the wood glue, and then push it down, and this will hold it in place until the other is dry. So now we're going to do this one. I think that ought to do it. Go ahead. here. And hold it down for a minute until it dries. All over. Push it down. Okay, this is our last one. Should be good for that one. Take it and stick it on here. Push it down and hold it down until it dries. Especially when you have the ones that are a little bit, for some reason it seemed like it was a little bit warped, just a little bit. These little wood pieces. So I'm going to hold it for a minute or two. Now if I would have put the glue, the wood glue under there too, that would have been better, but I think I should be okay. Now if you want to dress it up any more than this, you can do that. You can add a bow or something. I'm not going to. Whenever it's a holiday, I put enough things out there that you know it's the holiday. I'm kind of ridiculous, but it's my kind of thing. I like it. And let me know what you think of the Cricut, and if you like, you know, the Cricut design space. Let me know what you think, and I'll show you a couple other things here and there, but we'll do lots of different crafts. It won't just be Cricut, but we'll add a little Cricut in here and there. So here's our finished product. I hope you guys like it, and if you do, please tell your friends about me. I can use more subscribers. I really appreciate you guys all, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great, great night, and I'll see you soon. Bye.